Welcome back. Major religious demographics around the world are seeing some big changes when it comes to their numbers and their change over time. New analysis from the Pew Research Center shows the number of Muslims in the world grew the fastest between 2010 and 2020. Christians are still the largest religious group, but as you see on this graph here, Muslims are gaining on them. And wait until I'll talk about also who's number 3. Conrad Hackett is a senior demographer and the associate director of religion research at the Pew Research Center, and he's the lead author of this report. Great to have you with us on this. Explain what this data means, or how you gathered it, and what this data shows when it comes to Christians and Muslims specifically.
It's great to be here. We looked at over 2,700 censuses and surveys to measure the size of religious groups in 2010 and 2020. And as you say, Errol, we found that Muslims were the fastest growing religion. They increased by 347 million people over this decade, which was more increase than all non-Muslim religions combined. And the reason why Muslims grew so much was demographic. Muslims are on average about a decade younger than non-Muslims, and Muslims have more children than any other major religion around the world.
And then I was just saying, as I was introducing you, that folks should also pay attention to what was the third largest group, and this is what you're finding is a rise in people who say they're not affiliated with any religion. What are you learning about that demographic of folks around the world?
That's right, Errol. So nearly a quarter of the world's population are people who identify with no religion. And that group has been growing because an increasing share of people are shedding their childhood religion. Right now, among young adults, for every one person who didn't grow up with religion and joined a religion, there are 3.2 people who grew up with a religion and have shed that religious identity.
It's really interesting, and we're looking at places in the world where the unaffiliated saw an increase of more than 5%. And it's really everywhere, from the US to Australia, Europe, even Namibia and Southern Africa. So what kind of trend do all of these numbers represent? What's happening in the world that's leading to not just an increase in Muslims, but an increase in people who say they don't affiliate with anything?
Well, I'd highlight 2 things for you. There is a lot of switching. So we had 40 countries where the Christian share of the population dropped by at least 5 points. It dropped 20 points in Australia, it dropped 14 points in the US, and most of those people who are leaving Christianity are joining the ranks of the unaffiliated. So 35 countries, as you showed in the graphic, have an increase of at least 5 points in the unaffiliated share. And the other thing I want to highlight is that the Christian and Muslim share of the world is growing closer, it's converging in size. The Christian share of the world's population, and Christians are the largest group in the world still, it dropped from 31% to 29% in 2020, and the Muslim share increased from 24% of the world's population to 26% of the world's population.
Yeah, it's always fascinating to see how these numbers change and also to discover the underlying reasons. We encourage folks to look into your report. It is fascinating. Conrad Hackett, thanks for joining us today from Washington.
My pleasure. Thanks.